Hey guys, this will be a quick video. I just wanted to do a little comparison of the Harbor Freight paint sprayer conversion to a pressure pot versus the CATechnologies kind of lower end resin pressure pot. This was something about $100 and this was about $350. I realize that's a significant difference, but the main problem I had with the Harbor Freight conversion is that I couldn't really get it to hold enough pressure. It would leak at all pressures, and I think that the main reason why it was leaking is the cover seal, which I don't believe this seal was doing a good job at keeping the air out. I mean, it feels like it's built okay, but these little clamps on the side feel kind of chintzy, and you'd have to put a lot of pressure into clamping them down, and I really don't like how they clamp into the top and kind of gouge into it. And even using a wrench sort of really tightening these down as hard as you could. I even used a large wrench to get them tight down pretty well, but I couldn't get it to keep pressure, and it would leak out of the sides here. There's a little bit of leaking at the joints and stuff like that, but I'm sure that was mostly my fault out of ignorance. But the other thing I don't like about the Harbor Freight one is the sort of concave bottom here. And when you kind of feel it around the sides, it really doesn't feel even. Like you can feel a seam. Well, not a seam, but sort of bulging in certain areas. But overall, I just didn't feel comfortable using this one, and I decided to invest in the larger one. So let me kind of show you some of the differences on the larger one. So first of all is these clamps on the side. They're really built well. It doesn't sort of gouge into the top of the top of the pot. I should mention that I still haven't gotten this one to hold enough pressure, and I'll show you where it's leaking. Mind you, I haven't put a lot of time and effort into trying to get it to stop leaking because the leak is, I don't know, it probably has to refill my pump maybe once every 6 hours. And it'll get down to about 20 pounds of pressure, and it'll stay at 20 pounds of pressure. But where it's leaking is one of these screws here in the valve. I'm sorry, not the valve, the gauge. It does also leak a little tiny bit out of some of these connections here, but that's stuff I could fix if I wanted to spend the time to fix it, I think. And this seal here seems to be pretty, like it fits in there nice and snug, and there's no like gaps on the sides. So I think when you tighten this down, and I don't have to tighten this down as much as I did the other one to create a really nice tight seal. And even if I do tighten it down pretty tough, it's got, it's nice and easy to tighten down. And you don't have to crank it to get it, not to leak. I really don't crank these down, I just tighten them. The other thing I like about this one is the overall feel, it feels like a good product. The Harbor Freight one does feel cheap, and it's also got a flat surface on the bottom, which if you're doing resins or molds or anything like that, if it's not level, which I mean you could do, to be fair, on the Harbor Freight one, but you just gotta find an insert or maybe fill it with resin, I don't know, something like that. But I think for the $350 and for what you're trying to accomplish with the pressure pot and holding about 40-50 pounds of air, I feel much more comfortable recommending the CATechnologies ones for about $350. So, well, that's about it for this video, guys. It was nothing too fancy, but I wanted to get that out there and let you guys see the comparison of the two pressure pots. Thanks for watching.